I'm Romy Sink, and today I'm going to take you through the basic installation of the Evontis Elite water ionizer. All the parts you're going to see me use are included in the installation kit that comes with the unit. Setting it up and installing it should only take a few minutes once you've got all the parts pulled out and identified. So let's get started. First step is removing the aerator from your faucet. Usually these just screw right off, but you may need pliers to get them off. Next, you're going to replace that with this diverter. This is what actually sends the water to the unit. Now yours may look slightly different, but they all install the same way. You just screw on where your aerator came off. You may want to use a pair of pliers to tighten this up a little bit, because you want it to be snug. Okay. Next, we're going to install the water supply line to this diverter piece. Now, before I got started, I put a small pot of water on to boil. The reason I did that is because these hoses are pretty stiff, and you can see trying to work them over this post is not easy. So, by putting it in this hot water for a few seconds, I'm going to soften the hose, and it's going to slip on a whole lot easier. That should be long enough. Dry it off so I can get a good grip. You can see it's a lot easier to work with when the hose is a little bit warm. You want to push that up there as far as you can. And for me, this is actually the hardest part of the installation, is getting these hoses on. Okay. So that's in place. Let's get this out of the way. And let's connect this water supply line to the bottom of the unit. And you're going to have to put the unit on its face, and when you do that, you always want to have a towel handy so you don't scratch the face of the unit. Gently turn it down. And down here, you can see the in and the out ports. In, I've actually written the labels down here, but they are marked. This is where the water is going to go into the unit. You want to make sure that your cut is flat and even. If you have any little jagged edges or it's off, I actually use a file, just a regular nail file, to make that even, because if it's not flat and even, it's not going to seal well in the back. So you want to support the back of this joint and press it in firmly. You can actually feel it snap into place. Give it a little tug to make sure it's in there good, and then push it back one more time. Next, we're going to install the line that is going to be the drain line for the acid water. Same thing. Make sure you've got a good, even cut. Brace the joint, press in, and you can feel it when it locks in. Give it a pull to make sure it's secure, and push it back in. Let's stand the unit back up. See here on the side, there's a little notch for these hoses to come out. The next thing I'm going to do is install the stainless steel dispenser hose that comes from the top. This just screws into place. You don't want to over tighten, because you can crack the attachment inside, or this part, and then you'll have leaks. Just want to make sure it's in there snug, not too tight. So basically the water ionizer is installed. So let's plug it in. and we're ready to go. So let's check out my installation here. Now you're going to want to cut your hoses to length, but I'm going to be doing another installation, so I left these hoses longer. Once the unit is plugged in, you're going to turn water on at the faucet, and then you're going to divert it to the water ionizer. Now this is a pull plug style. Some of them have a lever action. They're all a little bit different, but they all do the same basic thing. So, let's make sure I've got my hoses going into the sink. This is hanging over the sink, and now I'm going to divert water to the unit. Now you don't hear any water coming out because I haven't turned the machine on yet as far as making a selection. The first thing I want to do is take a peek underneath to make sure I don't have water leaking from anywhere. That would indicate that a hose didn't make a good connection underneath. And now I'm ready to use the unit. I'm going to select the first alkaline level. And I have alkaline level 1 coming out of my primary spout, and the drain hose is draining the acidic water. Go to alkaline level 2, or alkaline level 3. And this unit also has a turbo mode. And when it goes into turbo mode, you'll notice that the water flow is a little bit slower. That's to allow more time in the ionization chamber. Also in the turbo mode, alkaline will always come out of the top, acidic will always come out of the bottom. And just a tip, with any water ionizer, the strongest acidic water will always come out of the acid drain tube when the unit is set to produce the strongest alkaline water. This unit also has a couple of acidic settings. Acidic level 2 and acidic level 1. And touch the H2O icon to get just regular water. And that's it. I'm just going to move my unit into place. And for all intents and purposes, you would be ready to go if you cut these hoses to length. For me, I've still got another installation option to show, so I'm going to stop here and move on to the next one.